Call the meeting to order. Begin with a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and remind everyone this is in fact a public meeting, and it's available for viewing. Unfortunately, we're not in a position at this time to have visitors within the room, but we have a number of visitors online. Two items of recognition. One is a very nice letter from the Hamptons in Echo, who asked that we make special note of the wonderful service that they got from assessment and taxation when they paid their taxes. That's not something that happens too often, so I wanted to call that out, that how much they appreciated the service that they got. The other is a plaque. I don't know how visible it is, but Umatilla County, under the direction of Robert Walder, our planner, was a leader throughout the state and beyond in terms of conduct of the 2020 census. One of the first counties in the state and beyond to actually get the census work underway. An awful lot of wonderful activities, some of which, of course, were sidetracked by the arrival of COVID, but nonetheless, we received a very nice plaque and commendation from the U.S. Census Bureau. So I would like to call out Bob's leadership on that and work in that regard. We have minutes of a previous meeting, January 20th, 2021. Is there a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Council, are there any additions to the agenda?
No.
Commissioners, any additions to the agenda? All right. Anybody who wishes to address the commissioners on a subject other than that which is on our agenda? Okay, we will move into our agenda items. Item number 1 is a CDA depot resolution. Council, are you going to?
I guess I can start this. This is coming before the board at the request of the CDA to document that the county is willing to assume the oversight of the historical 1944 explosion site on the depot. This would be made part of the transaction for the depot to be conveyed from the Army to the CDA. And this is just to document the actual support that the county is willing to do. The actual details of what the county may do is not quite been completed yet, but it's before the board for consideration.
All right, what's your pleasure, gentlemen? Any word from? I think we have some guests on. We have.
I think Representative Smith might.
Several guests on line who might wish to comment on this before we move to a vote or consideration.
I think, Greg, you're talking, but you're muted.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Greg Smith. I'm the Director of the Columbia Development Authority. And while I do serve in the Oregon Legislature today, I'm not here in that capacity, but rather representing the CDA. So, Commissioners, the request before you is our effort to make sure that we preserve critical cultural and archaeological locations important to the citizens of Umatilla and Morrow County. And part of what the CDA has agreed to is to make sure that those sites that have been recognized are protected. And so part of what we're looking to do is make sure that not only are those locations protected today, but into the future when each of us move on into different roles and capacities down the road. And so what we're looking for is for Umatilla County and for Morrow County to ensure that whoever is responsible for the physical real estate in which these resources lie honor the commitments that we're making today. And so effectively, what we're asking Umatilla County to do is to make sure that what we agree to do is honored by whether it's the CDA or a future landowner. So that's what we're here requesting today. I do have one correction I stated the other day. There will be some form of public access to these locations, whether it's through an easement or through a road. After talking with Anderson Perry, our engineer, what we anticipate doing is placing that easement on a future road to the location. So it will not be a separate walkway, if you will, but rather will accommodate the public through a traditional road. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Anybody have questions of Representative Smith?
So, Mr. Chair, I actually had a few questions and spoke with Greg and Debbie after our meeting, and my questions have been answered to my satisfaction, and I'm okay with moving forward, and to that, I would make a motion that we sign that resolution.
I would second that motion.
All right. Any further discussion, or anybody else wish to weigh in? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Thank you. We'll move on to...
I guess the only question I have left is the Pentagon ready to sign tomorrow now?
We're getting closer. Every time I say we're getting closer, someone always says, a year.
Good luck.
All right, Commissioners, we appreciate you, and thank you for all the work you do, and anything we can do to assist you, let us know.
Well, I've heard it will happen at the turn of the century. We just don't know which century, so... All right, thank you. Our next item is weed control products contract. Did I see Teddy on there?
I am here.
All right, the floor is yours.
Okay, Teddy Orr, Umatilla County Noxious Weed Department. Sent out an RFP for chemical bids in the month of December. We received them back. We received 4 bids, one being from Wilbur Ellis, one from Nutriem, one from Helena, and Joe Hill Consulting. Wilbur Ellis had the low bid. However, they used state contract numbers, which essentially will terminate in June, so their prices will eventually change because they have to use the updated numbers. So they ended up pulling their bid. However, we can still use their state contract for their lower prices. But that being said, with the bids, they're set for 12 months, so they wouldn't be able to offer their prices for the full 12 months that they stated. So then that kind of falls back to the second place bidder, which is Nutrien, and my recommendation is that we go with Nutrien's bid for, and I figured it out by unit of measure with $3,643.02.
Questions of Teddy?
Thanks, Teddy, for the information. I would move to approve this expenditure.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I heard 3 ayes. All right. Next item is a culvert purchase.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Fellows, Umatilla County Public Works Director. What we came before you with here is our annual culvert purchase. We do stockpile quite a few culverts in our yard. The last 8 months, we went through a number of our culverts, and our inventory is getting down a little bit. We started looking at what's happening out there. Steel prices are going up, and we just felt that it would be prudent for us to take advantage of the current costs. The word on the street is that steel is going to continue to go up, so we felt that now was probably the right time to do this. We did receive 3 quotes from Aero Construction, Eastern Oregon Rentals, and Contec. And Aero Construction came in significantly lower. We are at $26,015.67, and that's our recommendation, is that we go with Aero Construction on our culvert purchase.
Questions of Tom?
Pardon me?
No, I asked if there was any questions of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have none, but I would make a motion to approve this expenditure.
Second.
Okay, any other business or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next item is a stacker conveyor lease.
So this is again for Public Works. Our crusher is currently, we're getting ready to move to another pit. And we find ourselves in need of a second product line stacking conveyor. It's simply a matter of more efficiently handling the material that we have that we're stockpiling. We could do it with a loader, but with fuel costs going up and everything coming down the pipeline here, we just feel that a stacker conveyor is going to be the right way to go right now. We're requesting to rent this for what we hope to be the next 2 projects, and we shouldn't be needing the rental more than 6 months. Looking forward, if it was to work out for us and it looked very cost effective, we would like to keep this on a RPO, which would be a rental purchase, which would give us the option of within 6 months of possibly just purchasing it outright. But for the time being, we're just requesting $4,000 a month for up to 6 months of rent.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, I did have a lengthy conversation with Tom, and this 60-foot radial stacker is definitely, I don't even know why it would be a question of using a loader if there's a stacker available. It doesn't make sense to use a loader by any means. Not that it hasn't been done, don't get me wrong, but I would move to approve this, and I would like to see them get it as quickly as possible. I know that they're kind of special and hard to get a hold of, so I would move to approve this expenditure.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Fellows. The next item is the Sheriff's Office payment, which appears to be for some broken windows. Is it broken windows, is that correct, Captain Hearn?
That's correct. Captain Thornher, Umatilla County Sheriff's Office. We had an inmate broke 5 windows. The best option for replacement is the clear containment grade polycarbonate. Unlike glass, the polycarbonate will not shatter, so once we replace it, it should be good forever. The quote is from a single source provider. This is the only company west of Mississippi that makes it fine. And it's going to be $8,944.65.
Questions of Captain Hearn?
You said that this would last for a very long time, is that correct?
Yes. Unlike the glass, it will not shatter. So they can scratch it, but it's got 3 layers of polycarbonate. And they should be good until I retire.
Wow, I know how often those windows have been broken in the past, so I would make a motion that we approve that purchase.
I'd second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Did I hear 3 ayes?
3 ayes.
Okay, motion passes. Item 6, a maintenance payable HVAC repair. Is that you, Mark, or Dan? No, Dan is not. Dan's not here today, I know, so it must be you.
Yeah, Mark Tanner, Facilities Manager, Umatilla County. So this is to replace two of the DDC controls on HVAC units 3 and 4 that failed. We were unable to make changes until these were replaced, so whatever the temperature was is what it stayed. So that's the gist of what these were. They were, I believe they were 12 years old, so they were at the end of their lifespan anyway.
Mr. Chairman, approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, passes. Mark, I think you're still up.
Yep. So this one is for the fire alarm panel out at the Justice Center. We had to shut it down about 2.5 weeks ago. It was just continually sending false alarms. I had a meeting with the fire marshal. Because the system is down, we are required to do a 24-hour fire watch until it is repaired. So this is a single source provider. If we don't go with the single source provider and just upgrade the current panel, all devices in the entire facility would have to be changed out to tie into a new system. And cost estimates were a little over $100,000 for that. So the single source provider seemed like the best option at $28,750.
Commissioners?
I move for approval.
Well, I like that figure better than the 100,000, so I will second that.
Okay. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. I believe there's a third item. Is that?
Yep. So as we know from the remodeling project that we've been working on at the jail that was temporarily put on hold, the intercom and camera systems are failing at the jail. Last Saturday, the intercom system went down, which basically means we have no communication between cells and officers, so it's a real security issue. We were able to scavenge enough parts from equipment that we have kept over the years. We were able to get it back up and running, but there's no guarantee as to how long that will last. And the current system, we have no parts available. I mean, it's just nothing is available. We've contacted the manufacturer. Any parts that they had on the shelves we got, and that's it. So I'm putting this out I'd like to start an RFP to get this rolling. It's going to take approximately 4 to 5 months. Once we pick a person, they'll have to acquire all the equipment, put the system together, start testing, and then they'll have us come in, verify the testing, and then they'll bring the equipment out to the jail and start the installation, which will take about a month. So this will put it into the next budget cycle. So I'm hoping that we can try and prepare for that before the new budgets come out. It's just a system that's crucial to the safety of our officers inside the jail facility.
question for you, Mark. Is this one of those items that was planned for with the jail's expansion and remodel so that we could get reimbursed down the road when we get that 1.6 million from the state?
Initially, it was not part of the remodel, but once they started doing the site work and they had the engineers out, it was quickly determined that the system is failing and needed to be added into that process. So anything we do with this is not going to be undone or have to be changed in any way when we continue with the jail remodel. It'll just be a matter of adding a few extra lines and tying them into the new system.
I think following up on Commissioner Schaefer's comment, so there is a possibility it could be repaid from within the construction project. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, that should be a possibility for sure.
Other questions?
My question is, obviously there's lots of mechanical and different IT and different hardware going into the new expansion. Is this going to be compatible? Have we talked to our design group? I think it's Winnaha or whoever we're using. Has there been communication so that not just the expansion portion of this, but everything else stays consistent?
Yeah, I've talked to Scott, and he gave me the recommendations from their engineers of what we should look at and what we should move towards so that everything would be compatible.
That's a little bit more confidence. Are you Chairman Murdoch? Do we need to take action on this?
Yes.
I would move that you move forward with the RFP.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Item number 9 is an appointment to the Solid Waste Committee. Gina, are you going to do that? Ooh. Gina, we have a problem, Gina.
Am I the only one having problems hearing?
No.
Can't hear it all.
It's system-wide.
Okay. Jenny, you may need to log out and come back into the system because we're just hitting nothing but feedback and static every time you speak.
You might have the mic on your headset and your computer. No.
What's coming before the board is a request from Gina Miller to appoint a member to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee. Dennis Olson resigned some time ago, and Klaus Hauna has indicated he's willing to serve on the committee, and the recommendation is to appoint him for the remainder of the term.
I've worked with Klaus in the past. The guy's phenomenal. Couldn't recommend him more for the position, and I would make the motion to approve that.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Gina. Item number 10, STF Funding Grants.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Stacy Coons, Umatilla County Transit Coordinator. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. The Umatilla County Special Transportation Fund Advisory Committee met on January 21st, 2021, and to recommend allocations for STF 5310 and small urban public transit funds for the new biennium 2022-23. And the STF allocations came in a little bit higher than requested than what we had been allocated from ODOT, but everybody agreed to take the request and do a 9% cut. So we were able to come within what ODOT is providing to us. And then the 5310 funds were split between the city of Pendleton and the city of Mount Freewater, and then small urban allocations, they go to the city of Mount Freewater. So before you, on the agenda items, that's the breakdown of all the costs. So I recommend approval of these funds. And any questions?
I have no questions.
No questions, and I would move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right. Item 11, consultant services for human services. I believe I saw Mark Royal there. Mark, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Commissioner. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we provided delay for people been around a while for this kind of technology.
I appreciate that, sir. and I would share that I'm having a good time at it as well. So
good.
Thanks for the offer. Today, if you'd like me to start, we're seeking some consultant services to evaluate and assess the Human Services Department, of which now I'm the interim director as an employee. From this, we're looking to HMA, that's Health Management Associates, to help and assist in the evaluation of the process and recommend what we do with behavioral services that are within our authority within the county. I would add to the pinky that was submitted that we have received the $30,000 indicated from Gobi for the purpose of this particular study, and then locally there's 4,000 and change available within our department for the project. And I'm open to any questions you might have.
Well, I would certainly commend the Gobi board for their largesse in this matter.
Yeah, which John is part.
I'm well aware.
Bringing that up, Mark. I appreciate that. I think, Mark and I, Mr. Chair, Mark and I have gone over this. I think this is the right direction for our county. I am fully on board with the direction that he's taking it right now. With that, I would move approval.
And I'm going to second it because it's something I've hoped for a very, very long time. Sorry, Commissioner Dorn, but this is a personal issue, so I'm seconding it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, item number 12, Budget Committee appointments. Marie, do you want to do that, or do you want me to do it?
You, since I don't have it in front of me, please.
Oh, certainly. Bobby Levy, who has been on our Budget Committee, has had to resign due to her new duties as a member of the legislature. So we are recommending the appointment of Marie Linnell to the board. Marie is a financial executive with Lamb Weston, lives in Hermiston, and I'm delighted to make the motion to add Marie to our Budget Committee.
Knowing Marie for a long, long time and her professionalism, I think she brings a lot to the group, and I would make the motion for approval for Marie Linnell to take the position.
You got to second it, Dan. I made the motion because I've known her too. We're all excited about Marie. So I'll take your second, and all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Item number 13, compensation committee appointments. I'll turn that to you, Marie. Marie. We're into Marie's.
Hi, Marie Simonis, Assistant Director of Budget and Finance. We would like to continue with the appointment to the compensation committee for elected officials to be George Anderson, Patricia Hagan, and Molly Tucker Hasenbank. All three of those people served in that capacity last year. George also the year before, and we all three have agreed to serve again if that is your pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of BCC 2021-015.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Marie. All right, I think you're still up because we're moving into supplemental budgets. We will leave our regular meeting format and go into a hearing to consider supplemental budgets.
Good morning. Today we have before you 3 budget orders for your approval. They are Budget Order 2021-23, General Fund Elections Program. The Elections Program requires a sign-out note at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in state revenue of $118,000, an increase in materials and services of $71,000, and an increase in capital outlay of $47,000. Budget Order 2021-24, General Fund Communicable Disease Program. The Communicable Disease Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in state revenue of $2,030,000, an increase in personnel services of $1,030,000, and an increase in materials and services of $1 million. Budget Order 2021-25, Human Services, Alcohol, Drug, and Gambling. The Alcohol, Drug, and Gambling Program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in state revenue of $55,000, an increase in materials and services of $81,000, and a decrease in contingency of $26,000. Are there any questions?
I have questions, but when we go back into regular meeting mode, I would defer to my colleague Commissioner Doran to make the motions on all 3 of those, and I'll just do the seconds when it comes time.
Okay, is there any comment from the public? Any other comment from the staff? Then we'll go out of hearing mode and back into our regular meeting. The first one under consideration is Budget Order 2021-23.
I would make I move to approve Budget Order 2021-23 General Fund Election Program.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The second item under consideration is Budget Order 2021-24.
I make a motion for approval of Budget Order 2021-24 General Fund Communicable Disease Program.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the third is Budget Order 2021-25.
I would make a motion for approval of Budget Order 2021-25 Human Services, Alcohol, Drug, and Gambling.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, they all pass. The next item, excuse me.
You said thank you.
Melinda, did you have a question?
No, Marie just said thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, item number 15, AOC membership.
I would make an approval or make a motion to approve the AOC membership with the added content, not just the basic membership, but the full membership.
Perfect. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Number 16, Wolf Depredation Program.
discussion purposes, I would make a motion to approve the wolf depredation order BCC 2021-014.
Second.
I know that I think both of the other commissioners, Chairman Murdoch and Commissioner Schaefer, have sat through these depredation evaluations. And, I think it's another one of those committees that Umatilla County has under their umbrella that does an excellent job, a very thorough job, and it's somehow we need to develop some kind of recognition for all of the committees that Umatilla County appoints, because this one is a kind of an example of over and above just what the expectations are. And I enjoyed sitting on it, and I have no doubt that every penny has been evaluated in this program. So thank you.
I'll identify a conflict of interest. So,
What's your declaration of, did you make the motion, Dan, and we seconded it, right?
right, so we'll vote.
Okay. Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Okay, good, thank you. I abstained. Okay. Is that correct, to abstain? Okay, thank you. All right, item number 17, FEMA grant application.
This is a program that Commissioner Schaefer started with, and I think that you guys are handing me an incredible leg up to deliver to the meeting next week. So I'm going to let Commissioner Schaefer make the motion on this one for sure.
Thank you, Commissioner. So this one goes back to the flooding. It started with the flood of 2019. To help mitigate the flooding on Mackay Creek, the city of Pendleton is applying for the FEMA grant to conduct a watershed analysis for the Mackay Creek Basin. The estimated matching cost for the local entities is $100,000. The proposal is to have the city, the county, and the Lower Mackay Creek Flood Control District share in the funding grant match requirements. And with that, I would approve the county for matching funds of $33,000 to the FEMA grant.
I'd second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, it passes, thank you. Item number 18 is community development payable. Oh, I'll do that. I'll do that one. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a recommended payable in the amount of $10,000 to the Meacham Store and Cafe. We have done a number of grants. Unfortunately, Meacham is not an area that has benefit of a city council, a chamber of commerce, or any other source of support. However, it is the only business enterprise in that community. It serves not only as a central source for takeout meals, but also for food. I actually met in person with the proprietors and got considerable information from them, sufficient to tell me that it's possible that without our support, they would be forced to close. There is considerable community support in that community to help keep this business open. So I'm presenting it from the Community Development Fund, presenting it to the commissioners for approval. Is there a motion?
I would move for approval.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 19 is a letter to the governor. This is a letter, it's a somewhat comprehensive letter, so I will not read it in its entirety. However, what it deals with is the fact that the contents would be made public should anybody wish to receive a copy of the letter. It's a letter to the governor and a number of representatives and others. It deals with the fact that the governor is proposing to put $250 million into the budget as an investment in racial equity. It's still early in the process, but the purpose of our letter is to make sure that instead of just developing programs at the state level, which is, in our estimation, not the only way to go in terms of local investment, participation, and cooperation in the area of racial equity, that funds and support be provided to counties to also be able to be actively and directly involved in the advancement of racial equity in all aspects of what we do. Any questions about other contents of the letter?
I totally endorse this letter, Chairman Murdoch, and I know that it is comprehensive, but with your graciousness, I would like to read a couple of the paragraphs of the letter into the record, because I think they're substantial and it will only take a second. So with your permission, I would like to do that.
Certainly. Go ahead.
The racial this is out of the heart of the letter that Chairman Murdoch authored. And it reads, the Racial Equity Subcommittee serving our area has made it clear there is no singular conversation. What we are hearing from the metro area has only limited relevance for Umatilla County and Eastern Oregon. When we are simply reviewing proposals made at the state level, we dutifully respond. However, whenever the conversation shifts to issues that matter to us and how we can make a difference here, the enthusiasm rate grows and the energy and interest level is much different. Throughout much of the focus on racial equity in past months, the Hispanic community has all been but overlooked. And yet, with a population of almost 30%, I know our Hispanic residents want to engage with the county to discuss equity in employment, equity in housing, educational opportunities, health equity, food security, and community engagement in leadership positions within the community for starters. I think this is a very well written letter. I had the opportunity, I'm off the letter now, but I had the opportunity to be a guest at the MLK virtual meeting that was held in Hermiston, and this letter addresses many of the issues that were brought up by the panelists at that meeting. Our voice is not being heard, and I applaud Chairman Murdoch for writing this letter.
Thank you. Commissioner Schaefer, any comments?
No, I read that letter and I was blown away by it. In fact, I read it multiple times, and I agree with the sentiment that Commissioner Goring just mentioned. I can't wait for the governor to read it. Unfortunately, I don't hold much hope that it's going to go much further than that, just based on past behaviors. So, but I would pleasantly love to be surprised.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I am confident that Umatilla County wishes to be able to move forward on these initiatives, and if the state's going to invest $250 million in this and genuinely wants to have something meaningful happen and engage people at the grassroots level, then I think this is the path to do so. As I believe I indicate somewhere in the letter, people tend to support best that which they help to create. So, is there a motion?
I would move to approve this letter as written and distribution as suggested.
All right, is there a second? Was that a second? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Commissioners. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Commissioner comment? Commissioner Dorn?
I have none, thank you, Chairman Murdoch.
Commissioner Schaefer?
None for me. Thank you.
I have none either. So with that, we stand adjourned.